Getting addicted is actually good, and here's why. It might sound weird for me to say it, but I'm glad I stayed up until 5 AM doom scrolling on social media. I'm glad I have thousands and thousands of hours playing video games. And I'm glad I binge watched those TV shows and animes. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't do any of those things now. In under a year of self-improvement, I've managed to quit all those addictions after consuming them for years. I'm not saying these addictions are good. Generally speaking, any addictions are bad. Everyone knows that. The part that's good about them is that those addictions led me here. Those addictions I had were stepping stones to where I am now. They were part of the road I traveled down to get here. Without having those addictions, I never would have tried to fix my life. So I would have just been a guy, unexposed to the life of self-improvement. I never would have changed. Well, maybe. The thing is, I can't know for certain. Let me explain. There's this story I once heard about a father and a son. The father is a poor farmer who lost his only horse. Everyone in the village is like, damn, that sucks. He only responds with, well, maybe. Then the horse returns with wild horses, and everyone in the village is like, well, that's good fortune. And he's like, well, maybe. Then his son breaks a leg while riding the wild horses, and everyone in the village is like, that's too bad. The farmer only replies with, well, maybe. Then the army officials or whatever come to the village to recruit soldiers for the war. But his son can't go because his leg is broken. Everyone in the village is like, what good fortune? But the farmer just says, well, maybe. The main point of the story is you can't predict what will happen next in the world. Bad events may have what you perceive as bad effects, but in reality are good. It's the same for addictions. Yes, addictions are bad, and you should be working towards quitting them. However, it's also important to understand that addictions helped get you where you are today. That doesn't mean you should stay in addictions. You can't just sit there and spend 12 hours playing video games, claiming you didn't know what the effect would be. That's not how it works. Cause and effect are still a thing. Instead, you should use this to accept your addictions. Just because your addictions have led to what you perceive as negative effects, doesn't mean you can't change that. Instead, you should view your addictions as a trial or a challenge. Overcoming that trial will make you stronger. Because think about it. If you were your future self, and your job was to guarantee your current self not only got onto self-improvement, but also became a better, stronger person, what would you do? You would set trials for your current self. Trials that are hard and make life suck. Because overcoming hard trials is how you become a better person. Without the tension of trials, you wouldn't take action. You know, self-improvement is kind of like a video game. If you're currently on level 1, how do you think you level up? By getting XP. And how do you get XP in video games? You overcome challenges and fight enemies. It's no different in the game of self-improvement. You need enemies and hard times to level up. If I'd never taken my addictions so far as to want to change my life this badly, it might have taken me another 5 or 10 years to discover self-improvement. And that's why my addictions are the best thing that ever happened to me. Suddenly, all the pain caused by the addiction becomes worth it, because it becomes the reason why you're not only able to escape the addiction, but also discover self-improvement. The addiction has allowed you to live a more fulfilling life. That being said, addictions are still very much bad for you, but it's because they're not good for you that you want to change. I want to leave you with this one last thing. I heard this quote once before. If you went back and erased all of your mistakes, you would erase yourself. It might sound weird, but I really am grateful for what I went through. Are you? If there's one takeaway from this video, it's this. I want you to adopt this mentality of just because things are bad doesn't mean they have bad effects. It simply comes down to the way you look at them. Sometimes you just need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Keep your sword sharp. Bye-bye.